Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm working on the 20 valve AW11 a little bit. I got in some fuel line, so I'm going to make a fuel line for the fuel rail, and then I'm going to make a return fuel line, and then I got in my starter relay as well. Now, the starter relay is a little bit different than most other 4-pin relays that come in these cars. Most of them just have 4 pins. When you plug it in, they get 12 volts through each pin, and then they distribute that power to where it needs to go. However, in the AW11 and a lot of other Toyotas, the starter relay is a 4-pin connector, but 2 pins ground out when 2 pins receive power. So basically, when you crank the key over, 2 of the pins get the power, and then in turn ground out the other 2 pins, and that's what sparks your igniter. So because of that, the only thing I've been able to do is take my EGI fuel fuse, put it in the starter relay spot, and get the car to crank. However, because it doesn't have the proper grounding properties in it, it's not telling the ECU to fire spark, and it's not telling the ECU to fire fuel. So that's what we've been waiting on. So I'm going to get these new lines strung up in here, put the relay in, and then attempt to crank the car. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit when I get to that point. Alright, so I got my AN fuel line all tucked in here, connected to the fuel rail, connected to the fuel filter. Now I just have to measure out some more and string it from the return line to the gas tank return. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I'm going to try to crank the car up. Alright, so it started raining yesterday, so I kind of had to stop and go inside. Florida has just been on this tear lately of just raining every single day for the last 2 weeks, so I haven't really been able to accomplish too much throughout the day, just little things here at a time whenever I can get to them. So got the fuel line all put in, that's strung up to the fuel filter right there. I got the igniter moved over to here so it's out of the way. It's in a really good spot, kind of tucked off behind the battery in a place where it's not really going to interfere with anything, so that's good. I kind of want to see if I can bend the mount and get it to you know, made up to the wall here, but there's only one bolt hole, so this is probably just going to have to work for now. I just don't like how much give it has to it, but maybe I can tighten that a little bit more and change that. Then I got a 3-foot return line for the fuel feed. So this is coming back out of the bottom of the intake manifold or the fuel pressure regulator, I'm not sure which one. And then it strings over to the return section on the fuel tank. So now that that's in, I'm gonna crank it up, make sure there's no fuel leaking. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna move on. Alright, let's see how it goes. Don't mind this terrible steering wheel. This is actually an OEM MR2 steering wheel minus the horn section. I know these tack welds look crazy, but believe it or not, they made a bunch of these. So it still idles ridiculously high. I'm not quite sure why it does that. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. But from what I can see, it's not leaking any more oil, so that's good. So I still have to like figure out the vacuum line situation and figure out what exactly is making it rev so high. Could be a vacuum leak, it really could be anything. So just more diagnosis to go. Got to figure out what exactly is making it idle at ridiculous numbers, because you know, you don't want to like start up your engine and have it cold running at 3200 RPMs. So that's where we're at right now. Gonna keep on trying to iron out the vacuum situation. Maybe we can get a lower idle. Alright, so I've been trying to figure out what exactly is going on with the high idle, and I like adjusted my airflow meters to the other side of the engine bay, and now when I start the engine, it idles a whole lot lower. So before it was going up to like 3200. Here's where it's at now. It just shut off. Why'd it do that? that's where we're at now, but it doesn't sound anywhere near as crazy. But I'm still working on getting the coolant system done up, so I can't quite let it run for more than like 6, 7, 8 seconds because, well, it doesn't have coolant to pass through it to engage the temperature sensor and calm down the idle or finish off the cold start sequence. So that's where we're at right now, but I have to run over to Dylan's house and grab the SC300 and bring it home because the 2J's coming out. And yeah, so we're gonna head over there right now and we're gonna drive the SC300 home, check that out, and then probably end the video. So let's get to that, and then we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, the SC is home. Man, driving that thing made me fall in love with it again, but I just don't have anywhere to put it. And on the list of priorities, this thing is at the bottom. So 2J's just gonna have to come out of it. But I should be able to at least make my money back on it. Carbon fiber hood and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I guess tomorrow starts the process of tearing the 2J out of it because, well, I gotta get rid of it because it can't stay here on the side of my house. So I'm gonna grab the 2J out. That'll eventually go into the Cressida and this thing will find a new home. So unfortunately, the adventures of the SC300 didn't get to go very far, but you know, I have to make a determination between, you know, this car and another car, and I would put this up against the Cressida because, well, that's the newest car, and the MR2 and the 240s definitely aren't going anywhere. So so yeah, I would much rather have the Cressida than the SC, and I'm gonna pull the 2J anyways. I got a really good deal on the SC, so it's not like I'm taking a loss here, other than no longer having the car, but it is what it is. So 140,000 mile 2J is going to be going into the Cressida eventually. Before that happens, we're going to fix the 7M so we can at least know the condition of the engine. But yeah, so that's the plan as of right now. But yeah, I'm going to end it here because we got the MR2 running. We got it running pretty decent. Got to finish up the coolant system, and we got the SC home. So those are two pretty big accomplishments that I had to get taken care of. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button, throw a comment down below if you have anything to say, and we'll see you in the next one.